uh, Core Java Introduction. Okay, in this module you will get to know how to write in Java, how to use different types of editors. We'll focus on Eclipse. Okay, how you are going to use Eclipse to write your Java code. Okay, and you can also use Notepad and whatever text editing software you have to write a Java code, and you'll need a command prompt. Okay, you'll need the Windows command prompt to execute the code. If you have a Linux box, you can go to the terminal and you can execute the code, and you'll get the basic OOPS concept of Java, how the object oriented programming languages, how they behave, how the flow goes in, like how the classes are created, how the objects are created, how you are going to create some of the variables, how you are going to use inheritance to inherit the benefit, like inherit the functions, okay, the methods, the behavior of a class into another class, that you are going to know from this module. And of course you'll know about variable creation, method creation, and what are the packages in Java. There are certain packages or certain modules which are already built in with the Java development kit. And of course the collections in which you are going to store lots of data, okay, maybe of similar data or of a different type of data that you are going to store. That for that reason you are going to use collections. Then you're going to use exceptions. Exceptions are something which are generated at runtime or even at the compile time. So exception is something which is unexpected behavior of your code. So you're going to learn how to create exceptions, how to handle exceptions. Okay. And so basically this module will be an introduction to your Java programming language. You'll have lots of assignments in this module. They will be entirely coding. Okay, you'll have to use lots of coding. So once you are familiar with coding, then we can jump to Selenium. And believe me, once you have done this module 2 in a better way, you are confident in this, you can cover the rest of the modules very easily. Okay, this is the module which in which you need to focus more. Okay. Okay, let's then start with our very first Java class. Okay, so what Java is? The first question is what Java is. Java is a very like basic programming language which gives you the functionality, which gives you the flexibility to write a code and run it anywhere. Okay, that's the main motto of Java. When Java was developed, this was the main motive that they had. They wanted to develop, they wanted to write a code so that that code can be run on any system. Okay, you can run it on Linux, you can run it on Windows and Macintosh, on mobile devices, and the same code is going to produce the same output irrespective of the system, irrespective of the machine, irrespective of the operating system. That was the main motto of Java, main target of Java. Okay, so I believe you have some of the like coding experience, like prior working here, you might have learned some of the coding. Okay, long back you learned. So which language did you learn? C and C++. Okay. Java is a language which is actually built out of C and C++. So basically we'll get all the structure, coding structures and all from C programming language, and the object oriented structures, they are mostly derived from C++. So if you remember C and C++, Java is going to be easier for you. Okay. 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 Okay, there are some of the terminologies in Java. Okay, that I'm going to show you. Something important. I can't hear. Like, what did you say? I couldn't understand. Okay, okay, okay. I'll tell you. Okay, okay. uh, let's create a text file. Okay, in this text file I'm going to show you the most important things in Java. Okay, so this is the very first class in Java. So oh my god, the first line I have mistaken. Java development. Okay, so what are the things that you need to know to start with Java development?
It's 10 o'clock.
The first thing is you should know how the code flows. Okay, like which code is executed when, from where the code is to start. Okay, how you're going to run that code in a system, what are the set of commands that you need to type in the system so that the code is going to be executed, and there are different stages which used to happen before execution. What are those steps? Those things you are going to know. Okay, stages before execution, and we call those stages as editing. First you need to write the code, editing or writing the code. Okay, once you are done writing the code, what you are going to do, once you have done writing the code, you can compile the code into byte codes. Okay, this byte code is something which we can't understand, that is developed to be understood by Java virtual machine. So these are the terminologies JVM, JDK, JRE, which you'll know during the course. But these are the stages which used to happen when you are writing, when you are developing something in Java. First you need to write the code. Okay, you need to modify something in the code, you need to edit that code. Once you are done editing, you need to save that. Then you can compile the code into byte code that Java can understand. Okay, once you have compiled the code, you have got some of the compiled class files, then you are going to execute the code. Okay, so okay, these are the very three like basic things that happen before executing a Java code. Okay, right. So in Java programming language, you will get to know things like variables. Then you will know about the classes. Okay, then you will know about the functions, or we call them methods or methods. Okay, you'll know about packages. Okay, and you'll know about variable declaration. Okay, that part is done. And yeah, these are the very basic thing which we will start with. Then you'll get to know a lot other things also. So let's begin. Let's jump into creating the first code in Java. Okay, that is going to be a very simple addition program. Okay, we'll have two numbers and we're going to add them and we're going to print the result on the screen. Okay, okay, let's create a new file new. We're going to write the code in here. The thumb rule in Java is everything that you are going to write, that has to be part of a class. Okay, so you need to write class, then the class name is addition test. Okay, this is the very basic thing that you are going to write. So the class name has become addition test, and every class in Java that starts with a capital letter. And if the class name has two words, they should not have any space in here. You can see there is no space, right? And every first letter of the class that needs to be capital. I could have written it small t, but no, I'm writing it at capital T. It's not a rule, but this is something which we generally follow. Okay, so now you have created a class with the name addition test. Then you are going to give a curly brace, and you can end that. Okay, now the class body is ready. Now the next thing that you are going to do is you are going to create a method, the entry point of the class. Okay, the method has to be public. Okay, the meaning of public I'll tell you later, but as of now let's jump into writing a code. Then you need to write static, then you need to write void, then you need to write main, and this is a method. So for method you used to have this bracket, and after the method you need to give another curly brace, then you need to end it. So this is the body of method, and this is the entire body of the class. Okay, now we are going to write. So when the execution starts, it starts from within this method. Okay, so whatever we need to display, whatever we need to execute, we need to write it in here. And whenever you are writing any code, just give some of the comments so that you can later, when you look through that code, you can get to know what this code means. Comments in Java is very similar to comments in C, C++ or PHP or any other programming languages. For single line comment you can give double slashes and your single line comment will go here. Okay, if you want to give a multi-line comment, like suppose you want to give this class information, you can start with a slash, then star, and at the end you can end with star and slash. So everything in this line is going to be a comment, multi-line comment. Okay, so this is a simple Java class to add two numbers and print them on screen. You can write @author then your name, Anuradha. So this is the name of the author who has written the code. These things are never going to be compiled. This is the thing which is never going to be compiled by Java. Okay, because these are the comments. It doesn't like, oh, the compiler doesn't understand them. This is a command. This is a comment, single line comment. So I'm going to write here like program execution begins here. This is a single line comment. Okay, let's write the code in this class. This is the method where your code used to start. And there is a thumb rule in Java which says you have to write this line for sure. Without this, your code is not going to start. And in that line, you have to write, you have to give an argument. So this is the name of the method. Main is the name of the method, okay, or a function. This is the two. These are the two brackets that we are giving, which specifies that this is a method. And in that bracket, if you are going to write anything, that is assumed to be a variable, or that is assumed to be a parameter to the function. So you are going to give a parameter, that's an array parameter, string array, okay, and you can write args. So this array, it's not mandatory to give it here, you can write it here also. Okay, now this arguments args, it's a name of the argument which is an array of strings. So this is the first line. Whenever you are starting to write any Java code, you have to give this line. Okay, now let's write something over here. I am going to create two variables, int of type integer. This is int which specifies it's an integer which is going to store the numbers. Int x equals to some number, right? Then we are going to create another integer y which is going to be another number. And there is a semicolon after every statement. So in Java, all the statements, they are terminated by a semicolon. Even this is a statement which is going to be terminated by a semicolon. Okay? Okay, now you have created two variables, they are of type integer, and you have assigned some value. When you are writing y x equal to 10, that means x is initialized with value 10. Similarly, y is initialized with value 23. Right? Okay. To add two variables, we need to use some of the operators in Java. So which operator we are going to use? We are going to use addition operator, that is plus. This operator you are going to use. This is going to give you, to give the addition of x and y. Okay, when we have added these two numbers, then there is a result which is generated. Okay, that we need to store somewhere, right? Then I am going to create another integer variable that I am going to call z, and I am going to assign the sum of x and y into this. So this is the execution, like this is the operation which we are going to carry out. Once this operation is complete, it is going to result, it's going to give you a result. So to store that result, you are going to use assignment operator, that is equals, and you are going to specify a variable with its type. So z is going to store the value of x and y. So what you are expecting? Expectation is 33, right? You are expecting 33. This is a comment. Don't think that this is going to be executed by Java. So once you have stored the value of z and the operation is complete, you can display that on screen. To display something onto the console or onto the screen, you are going to use some of the methods of a particular class in Java that we are going to call system class. System is the class which is going to help you in displaying your result. System dot out. This system dot out, it says that I am the console. Okay, you can write anything on this console. So you're going to call another method of this out, that is called print. System dot out dot print, and you can give the bracket. So now this print is a method, and because this is the two bracket we specify, the print is a method, and I'm calling this method. So when you're calling this print method, it is going to write something on the console, but you have not yet told him what I'm going to, like, what you are going to write. So you need to pass something over here which it is going to write. So I'm passing z, so it is going to save, it's going to like write z, it's going to display z on console. Okay, let's save this file and let's execute it. Okay, okay, you have any doubt in class, in this class? Okay, let me zoom it for you a little further. Okay, now you can see the class. This is clear, right? Be little louder, be little louder. Come near to the mic and try to speak.
Hello?
Yeah,
Am I audible now?
now it's audible. Go on, go on.
Okay. So system is a class and print is a method. What is out?
Yeah, out is a static field in Java in system class. Okay, this field, it specifies that you are connected, it's like it's initialized with the console. So your system will have a command prompt or a console from which you are going to execute this addition test class. Okay, that console's control will there be inside this out. Okay, this out is actually stream which we say, once you learn inside Java, little deeper inside Java, you can know how these things work. But just to remember, when you're going to display something on the screen, you need to use these two methods. So system.out, this is mandatory. After that, you need to pass, you can call print or you can call print ln. So there are a lot many methods. So as of now, we're going to call print method on system.out. System is the main class. Okay, in that system, out is the console where you want to print something, right? Now you have system.out, that is your console. Now console.print, you're talking to the console, you are telling console to print the value of z, and you can go back and see what z is storing. Z is storing the value of x and y, the addition of x and y, okay, which is expected to be 33. So I am expecting my console to print 33, right?
Yes.
Okay, any other question you want to ask in this class? If you have any doubt, we have not yet executed it. There are two steps in execution that I have told you already. First part is complete. Third, three steps in execution. First part is editing or creating the text source file that we have already created. We are going to save that. The second part is about compiling this Java file. So a
Okay.
compiled class file is generated, a bytecode class file is generated. Then we are going to give that class file to Java virtual machine, okay, so that it can be executed. Okay,
Okay.
the first
Yes.
part is complete. Let's save this class. And one more thing, just remember, when you are creating a class and you want to execute that class, you have the main method in that class. You must give the file name same as the class name. So I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to create a file with the same name as the class name. Okay, let's save this class file, save. Within Selenium test, we are within creating within Selenium test, I'm going to save this file with the same name as the class name. addition test with the extension .java. Okay, this is mandatory. The source code that you are writing, you must give the extension as .java, and the class name is similar as the class name that you have defining. The file name is similar to the class name that you have created. Okay,
Okay.
let's
Okay.
create that on desktop, and let's create a new folder. Okay, let's call it java underscore example. I've created java underscore example, and within java underscore example I'm creating the saving the file as addition test.java. Let's click on save. I cannot save the document with extension .java, then the required action RTF. No, this is not going to help. No. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's copy this content. I'm going to use another editor where I can write the code. I have copied the text. Okay, let's open terminal. You are going to use command prompt. You can use notepad in Windows. Okay, now I am in terminal. Okay, I'm going to move to the desktop, and I'm in the desktop. CD java example. I'm in the java example. I can clear the screen. Now I can see there are no contents here. Now I'm going to create a file vim is there. Yeah, vim is there. Now I'm going to create a file vim, and I'm going to insert whatever I have copied. Paste. Okay, thank god it got pasted. Okay, now I have pasted the code. You can see, right?
I think the font is very small.
Sorry,
The
font is
font is very small now.
okay.
Yeah.
Now you can see, right? Now it is
Yeah, the
visible.
old stuff that I did, I was not able to see.
Now it is visible, right? Because I am also
Yeah,
very
now it's
new to Mac,
visible.
I cannot control it in a better way. So just tell me when you face any problem, just tell me. Okay, I'll make this screen a little bigger for you. So now this is visible. Now I have
Okay.
written the code. Now I'm going to save the code. WQ.
Okay. And what is the terminal that you did before? I was not able to see it clearly.
This is the command prompt. Okay, for Windows this is the command prompt. For Mac and Linux we call it Vim editor, VI editor. We call it terminal. Then VI is the editor. Okay, you will have the command prompt in Windows. We have the terminal in Linux and Mac, right? Then to compile and
Okay.
execute, you will use your command prompt. Okay, to write the code, you will use the notepad. To write the code in Linux
Okay.
and Mac, we can use any of the editor, but one is VI editor. Okay, so
Okay.
this is the VI editor that I am using, and I must remember the name of the class while saving the file. So this is the class name that I must remember. I can copy this and let's save it. So I
Okay.
have created WQ, which is going to save it, colon WQ. Let's save it. No file name. Oh my god, I don't know how to give the file name. Shift insert, it's not here. Come on. Oh god, it got saved. Okay, now let's see the file name. Okay, now it has created a file named as addition test, but we need to make sure the file name ends with .java extension. Okay, so I'm going to rename it into uh, addition test.java. Okay, now I can use ls command. You can use dir command in Linux, sorry, Windows. It will give you the list of files. So I have a file called addition test.java. Okay, so you'll open up notepad, you'll write the entire code, then you can save it as, so you will use file save as. Okay, then in the file type you can use all types, and you can create the file name. You can give the file a name that is equal, that is the name of the class. So the class name that you're going to use, you must copy it before saving the file, and you should end the file name with .java extension. Okay, now I have created
Okay.
addition test.java. Then the second step is compiling this Java file. Okay, to compile you must have JDK installed in your system.
Okay.
Okay, I think you
Yes.
have installed JDK, or you had it. Okay, let me, after this class I'll introduce, like I'll install JDK in your system. So once you have installed JDK, there is a bin folder in JDK. That path of bin you need to give it to the system environments variable. That is a step that I will show you. So from any directory, we are in the directory of desktop. Inside desktop, we are in Java example. This is the directory. So from this directory also you can call that Java compiler executable file. So that for that reason you need to give that bin class bin folders path in the system environment variable. So I already have that. So if I type Java C and if I type version, it will show me the version. Okay, so it is saying Java C invalid. Okay, single v some. Okay, so it is saying Java C 1.8.0.91. So this is Java compiler version that I have. Now the next thing is I'm ready to compile this Java file. So once you compile the Java source code, it is going to be converted. It's going to be compiled into a bytecode. Okay, and that bytecode is something which we can't understand. That is only understandable by Java virtual machine. Okay, to convert it into bytecode, we need to compile the class. So for compilation, we can use Java C. This is the command. Then name of the file with Java extension. So this is the file name, Java C addition test Java. Okay, so what are the things that used to take place, like when you call command, like when you call Java C and you pass the Java file name, what are the things that actually undergo, or like behind the scene what happens? Java goes through your source code, whatever you have written, it finds if there is no error. Okay, there can be errors with syntax. So if there is no syntactical error, okay, there is no like compilation error, then the code is compiled into a dot class file. Okay, now we can press enter. Now I pressed enter. Let's see if, okay, it seems there is no error. So I can use ls command, then I can see there are two files created. Okay, the earlier file that we had is addisonTest.java. The new file that got created is addisonTest.class. Okay, now this dot class file is containing the actual code which is going to be executed by JVM. Okay, and do you remember the very first statement about Java that I told you is it's system independent. You can write the code once and then you can run it everywhere, but you cannot run the .java file. So we have compiled it into a .class file. So you can take this .class file from my Macintosh and you can run it on your Windows, you can run it on your Android phone, you can run it on any of the Linux systems without making a single change. Okay, so now I have the addition test.class file ready. Now I can execute that. The third statement that executes a Java class is Java command. So I just need to write Java. Then I'm going to give the class name. So what class name did we have? You remember this was the name of the class, right? This is the name that you are going to give. So that what will happen, Java, okay, go on, ask me questions.
So the class name will be of that having right?
The plus, sorry?
Uh, the file name we give it as a class name which has the main method in it.
Yes.
Yeah, that is my question. Because if we have more than one classes and one of them will have main method, so that class name we need to give while saving, compiling or executing them.
Yes, you need to save. Yeah, you need to save. You need to save with the same class name.
Okay, class name having main method.
Sorry, class name?
Class name which has the main method, right?
Yes.
Suppose if you have more than one classes in a program and one of them has main method, can I save the file with any other class name?
Okay, this is okay. There is one more concept which I didn't want to say you now. So you can save the class with any name. Okay, you can save the class with any name. But if you have the main methods in your classes, okay, and you want to execute that main method from your console or from outside that class, then you must save the compilation unit or save the class file, save the Java file with the name as the class which has the main method. So if you have two different classes, class A and class B, and both of them are having the main methods, okay, then you can save it with any of the names. You can save it with a.java or you can save it with b.java, it doesn't matter. After compiling, you will see two class files generated. One is a.class, one is b.class. Because the dot class files that are generated, they are basically compiling the class. So whatever class you are having in the file, that is compiled into a class file, not the entire Java file compiled. So you'll have the class compiled to a dot class file. So after compilation, we have created this class addition test dot class file. If we had another class here, okay, if you had class anu, so this is going to create anu dot class. So basically the number of classes that you have and the name of the class that you have, that is going to be created a dot, that is going to be created into a dot class file. Okay, so now I have created addition test dot class. So I am going to call Java addition test. Okay, now what is going to happen? The dot class file that is here, it is going to be executed, but within that dot class file you should have this main method, otherwise there is no way Java cannot execute it, because I have already told you this is the syntax. From here the execution starts. So you should have this one. Without this statement, your code is never going to be executed. Okay, fine. Okay, let's go ahead, let's click execute, let's see what is happening. And you remember what are the values that we have given. We have given 10 and 23, and we are expecting 33. Let's see what is happening. What do you think? 33 will come? Okay, let's see. 33, you can see here it is written 33, right? This is the answer. Okay, let's change the values. Okay, you tell me what are the two values that I can give for x and y. Sorry? Okay, you tell me na. 39 and this one? Sorry? 1? Oh my god, this is a big number. Okay, so what do you think? What is going to be like the output? 159, right? Let's save this file, and as you can see here, the console has printed, right, the output. But again, the this thing, it has come up. So let's there is one more method that we can use, that is called system.out.println. So this is going to write this value into console, then switch to a new line. So this is for ln, this is for new line. So the output, after printing the output, the rest of the things that is coming up in the console, they are going to be printed in the next line. Okay, so let's use this source code and let's compile this. So I'm going to copy this source code, copy, and I'm going to save it into this file addition test.java. I'm going to edit it again, right? So I'm going to use the command vim addition test.java. Now the file is ready. So okay, this is a tough task. Okay, let's edit it here only. Okay, so what we had, 39 and 120. No, 120, and we are going to use print ln. Okay, now the code is okay. So we are expecting 159 to be printed. Okay, let's save the code. Now I've saved the code. Yeah, the code is saved. The change is here inside the Java file, but it has not yet reflected into the dot class file, right? So we need to carry out this step again. We need to carry out compilation again, so that a new class file can be generated with the changes that we have made, right? So I'm going to call Java C addition test dot Java. Okay, it will overwrite the existing dot class file. Now it has overwritten the existing dot class file, and you can check a new dot class file is created. If you want to be more sure, you can go and check the properties which will say when that file was created. So if I'm going to check, this is created at 10:28, the time is 10:29, just now it was created, right? Okay, the new class is created, and let's execute that class. Okay, I need to clear the screen, and I am having two classes. One is addition test dot class, so I'm going to execute this one. Java, paste. No, copy and paste. Without the dot class extension, when you are executing a class, when you are executing a Java class, you should never give dot class extension. Okay, just remember that thing. So I am having Java and I am going to execute this class. This is the class which I have written. So let's run this. 159, right?
Right.
So as of now, we have only written, we have only displayed the integer values. Suppose I want to display some of the strings and some of the integer values at the same time. So what are the changes I need to do? Let's open that Java file again, and okay, let's clean the extra spaces that we have. No, no. Okay, now this is something which looks better. This is the extra space. This is the extra space, that is clear. Okay, I want to print the sum of x. Okay, in two steps we will do. I want to print something, a string. So any string in Java, they go in double quotes. So if I want to print the sum is and colon, and I want to print the value of z, then I can use an addition operator. Okay, now what is going to happen? Java is going to print this much text. Okay, and after that it is going to print the value of z. Okay, this is a string which is printed onto the screen, and to that string we are adding the value of z, that is 159. So let's save this file and let's see what is happening. Java C addition test.java. Oh my god, there is some error. That is Java. We have to use Java C for compiling. Done. And that compilation is done. Let's run that Java addition test. Okay, the sum is 159. Cool. Let's make it a little more complex. Let's open that file, and I want to print the sum of x and y is this. So how I am going to do? I am going to add some of the strings. The sum of okay, within this, okay, don't create complexity. Sum of double quote plus x plus double quote x, and I'm going to write y plus double quote is, this is the value. So you can check how I'm adding up the values. This is the string which is going to be printed directly. Then the value of x is going to be added. So I am using this plus operator because this value is not yet known. While execution, this value is going to be there. So this value, using Java's plus operator, this value, x value, is going to be added to the string. So I have this much string plus the value of x. So the sum of, then as a space, the sum of 39, another space, and 39 and 39, and then another space, the value of y 120, then a space, is another space, colon, then the value is 159. Okay, let's save it and let's see what is happening. Java C addition test.java. Okay, Java addition test. The sum of 39 and 120 is 159. Seems good?
Right. Good.
Okay, okay, let me open this file for you again, and you can go and you can tell me if you have any doubt in this class. It is okay, or do you need me to magnify it a little more? Okay,
Okay.
okay. Now go through the class and ask me questions if you have any.
They started for related things.
Okay, these are most of the things which you are doing in a text file. When you switch to Eclipse, Eclipse will do these things for you. You don't have to write public, static, void, main, class name, nothing you have to write. It will be automatically written by Eclipse for you. Okay, but you should know, yeah, you should know how these things are working. For that reason, I have shown you all these things.
What is the significance of this static in word words?
Sorry,
Okay, okay.
what is
What is the why it is important to write? Means what is the significance of those keywords?
important to write? What?
What is the significance of those keywords? Can't
Right,
we
right, right,
simply
right.
write
Okay,
anything?
I'll tell you what is the significance of every single character in this file. I can tell you, but they may not be like important. Like you may not understand what is the significance. So let me explain it to you, and later, but later you can understand them. Okay, the first thing that is here is public, right? So public in Java, it's a keyword which says that anything written after this public class, this public keyword, it can be a variable, it can be a class name, it can be any method name. So that variable is going to be available throughout the Java project. Okay, throughout the project. So anywhere, from anywhere, you can call this method. So this main is a method name. Okay, you can call this main method from outside this class. For that reason you have made this main method public. You could have made it private, then this main method is not possible to call the main method because that is private to this class, right? So that we want to call this class, we want to call this main method from a console. That console is different, and JVM, Java Virtual Machine, that is different. Okay, JVM is going to call this method. To make that possible, we have made this method public. Clear?
Okay, so here the console is trying to access the main method that is present in the JVM.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
no, no,
why
no,
if
no.
it is
One
not
second.
present,
Okay, one second. This main method is something that you have that is external to the JVM. JVM is something that is residing in your program files, okay, in your executable directory or somewhere inside your computer that Java is installed, where Java is installed. And this is something which you have created, right? Now these things, they are not closely related. So what happens if Java JVM, Java Virtual Machine, JVM, which is going to execute your code, if that JVM, that's a program, if that JVM program wants to execute this file, you have to make this file public so that JVM can call it. If that file is not public, JVM can't call it because that file has some of the restriction. Okay, that method has some of the restriction. Main method is not restricted, that is public, anyone can call it. So we have made main
okay.
method public. Okay, public keyword is okay. Let's move ahead. Now you have static. Okay, in Java we call Java an object oriented language, right? So to do anything with Java, you must create the object. Okay, but to create the object, you must be having a class. So this is the class. To do anything within this class, you must be having an object of addition test, right? Right now, so to create the object of addition test, you have to write some code. Okay, addition test, then you have to write some code which will create the object of that class. Then using that object, you can execute this method, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
so that work is something which is JVM, which is done by JVM. JVM is going to call, which is going to create the method, create the object of this class, right? JVM will create the object of this class and JVM will call this method, right? And static is a keyword which says that without creating the object manually, you can directly call this method using the class name, right? What JVM will do,
Okay.
JVM will use this class name and it will call the method name. So for JVM it is addition test dot main. Okay, JVM is not going to create the method of this class. Okay, so static is something which gives you the flexibility of not creating the object of the class. You can call the methods or you can access the members of that class without creating the object of that class. So for that reason we have the static thing here. Okay, static is a keyword in Java. Now you have understood static. It is not yet clear. I know you are not yet clear with static. Yeah, I know, because static won't make any sense now. Once you know how you are going to create the objects, Okay, then you will be able to know what is the meaning of static. Okay, now you are clear with public and you are clear with static.
Mm-hmm.
Now the third thing is void. Void is something which is null, which doesn't have any existence. Okay, that is what we call void in Java. Void is a keyword, that's a reserved keyword. So what void means, anything before the name of the method. The method name is main. Before the name of the method you have written void. It means that this method is going to execute, but it is not going to return you anything. This is the body of the method, right? Somebody is going to call this method, but this method will execute its own work, but it is not going to return to the caller that this is the value, just take the value. So this main method, it doesn't have anything to return. Okay, so it is having a type as void. It's not going to return anything. That is the return type. This is the name of the method. So you are clear with these three words, right? Public, static and void. And this is the name of the method which is mandatory to give as main in small letter, because JVM, it doesn't understand anything else. It has told us that if you have written something as main, main main, I am going to call that. If you have written something else, I cannot call that. So if you change the name to something else, main with capital M or small capital A, or you make any sort of changes, JVM will give you the error main method is not found in the class, right? That part is clear. Okay, then there is some of the arguments. Even this is mandatory. JVM has said that your method, main method, should have a string arguments, string array arguments. Then what is the need of this argument? If you are calling your main method from outside the class, the class is addition test, you cannot call it from the class, you are going to execute it from console. So when calling this main method, if you want to pass some value, okay, if you want to pass some parameter to your code, you can directly pass from the console and those parameters will appear here in the arguments variable. Then you can use them. We are not passing any parameters as of now, but later when we want to pass something from the console, then you can pass the value using these arguments. Okay, done?
Can you have main method without any arguments?
No, I didn't hear you. Please be louder.
Hello?
Can
Hello?
we? Okay, can we have?
Can you have main method without any arguments?
Can we have main method?
Without any arguments.
Yeah, you can have, but that won't be called by JVM without this argument. We are talking about if you want to delete this one, right?
Right.
Sorry, you can delete this one, but it won't be called by JVM.
Okay. So, okay,
Okay,
fine.
Anuradha, let's do one thing. As you are not audible, I am having some problem with it. You can ping the questions, okay, and I can explain that to you.
Okay.
Okay, just ping me if you have any doubt.
Yeah. That will be good.
Oh my God, you are typing very fast. Okay, okay, let me see. End presentation, exit, and let's go to, we'll see what is. Can we have main method without any arguments? Yeah, I have already given you answer, because Java JVM, it has already said that this is the only syntax that I understand. If you do a single bit of change in this syntax, JVM is going to compile your code if that is syntactically correct, but it is not going to execute your main method. Okay, it is never going to execute. If you try to execute it, it will give you some error. Okay,
Okay.
okay, this is the arguments that you need to pass so that you can pass the value from console. This is the name of the main method, and this is the type, return type of the method, that the method is going to return nothing, so you have written it void. Then the static variable is
Right.
something which allows you to call this method without even creating the object of this class, Public is something which gives you the flexibility to use this class or use this method from outside. So you can call this method publicly. If it would have been private, you couldn't have called it. Now it is clear, right?
Okay. Right.
You have written something else. Okay. Can we
Right.
have argument of other type? No, no, madam. I have already told you this is the only syntax that Java understands. If you write it, it is
No,
going to
I
be
mean other
compiled.
than string.
No, nothing. String is also mandatory. If you want to pass some
Okay,
integer,
okay.
okay, you might be wondering if we want to pass the value of x and y from outside, so that we don't need to compile
Right.
it again and again. We can run it all the time.
Right.
Okay, suppose the value of x and y is something which I have hard coded over here, right? If I want to make it dynamic,
Right.
while executing the code, I need to pass the value of x and y. If you want to do that, you can pass the value in args, arguments. If you want, let me, I can show you. So should we go ahead?
Okay.
Okay, let me,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, let me pass the values in args. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me first show you that yes, Java is like whatever argument you are passing, they are coming in args, right? Let's print like
Right.
what we to print, what we need to do, we need to use this system.out.println. This is something which we will need. So I have copied that and I'm going to paste it over here. So what I'm going to do, oh my god, okay, something weird is happening. V and yank. Okay, let's paste it. I pasted it. Now I'm going to edit it. I'm going to print the first argument that you are passing. Okay. In Java
Okay.
arrays, when you learn about arrays, then you'll know how we're going to, like in C also used to give the index value, right?
That's
I'm
good.
going to print the index value. So I have printed the first value. Now I'm going to print the second value. Okay, to print the second value, I need to give the index as 1. First value is 0, second value is 1. So I am going to pass two values and those values are going to be printed over here, and I want to write something that this is the first value and this is the second value, like first argument is this and second argument is this. Cool. Okay, let's execute this. Then we can see that actually these values are coming. Then we can add them. As we are dealing with integer values, okay, we cannot convert the strings that we are having. So this is going to be a string. Okay, this is going to be a string. We need to convert that string into integer. Okay, so to do that, before that, okay, to
Okay.
do that we need to do some casting. Okay, before that, let's execute this. I'm going to compile addition test.java. Now that is compiled, I can run addition test. Yes, while running you are going to give the parameters. Suppose I want to give the parameter as Arya, the second parameter is Sindhu. So with space you can give the parameters. You can see this is the class I am going to execute, right? And this is the first parameter I am giving with a space. Then again another space with second parameter. Let's run it. So you can see the first parameter is Arya and the second parameter is Sindhu. So these are the parameters that I am passing to the class while executing with Java command. Okay, this is the command and I am passing the parameters and they are available inside my code. So I can always write, like if you want to pass 1 2 with 3 4, the value is going to be 46. So I can pass 1 2 and 3 4 and my code can use them and my code can execute them, like add them, and my code can print. But as of now I'm not using them, I'm just printing them. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's use them and let's see if we are able to do that. I'm going to use minimize little. Okay, so now I am having the two variables. Now I'm going to give them to integer. Okay, so there is a method in Java which we call integer dot parse int. Okay, integer is the class name and parseInt is a method. You can see we are not creating the class of object of integer class. We are directly calling parseInt. So parseInt is a method which is having static,
Okay.
right? So that we can directly call it. We are not going to create the objects. So now I'm going to pass the first arguments args 0. So now this is going to be 1 and 2. If you are passing 1 2, then this is going to be available here. Now we have 1 2. Now I'm going to use the same line. I'm going to copy that. Okay, yes, I have copied it, and I'm going to get the first first and the second. This is the second argument that I'm going to get, right? Now this is clear. The first argument
Yes.
is 1 2, second is 3 4, or whatever we want to give. Then the sum of 1 and 2 is going to, this expectation is no more, right? It is gone. Let's clear
Right.
that. Now that x and y is going to be printed over here. I don't need these statements anymore. I can comment that so that I can use them later. To comment, I need to give just 2 slashes. Now this is clear. We can save this, right? We can execute. If you have any doubt, this is something, please don't go into these. I'll tell you when it is needed. Just as of now, just think that I have given a string and that is converted into an integer. I have given a string with the second string that is converted into an integer, and that is assigned to a variable which is said x and which is said y. Okay, let's go and execute it. Okay, I'm going to clear the screen. Now I have two files. I can always remove this class file. To remove that, I can use class. Okay, now it is removed. I can use ls. Now I have the Java file. Let's Java C and compile. Oh my god, it's compiled. Now I can have I have two files, right? Java addition test.class. To execute that, I need to call Java addition test, and I have to pass some variable, some of the values, arguments. First one is double one, second one can be double two. Okay, now it is going to use these two variables and convert them into integer and then add them and then print that sum of 11 and 22 is 33,
Yes.
right? Okay, let's run it again with some different values. Okay, now you tell me the values that you want. I know you will tell some bigger values, but don't worry, Java is able to do with any big value you can give me. Okay, tell me.
66,
66 and
99.
oh my god, you tell me what is the sum of 66 and 99. I know you'll take 3 seconds or 4 seconds to tell. It's very simple. Add 1 to 99, it's 165. Okay, so what do you think? Java is going to be exciting?
Yes, it is.
Really? Okay. The next thing is, don't learn any more Java. Yeah, it will go out of your mind because it's too much for today. Okay. Next thing is, I'll install
Yeah.
Java. I'll install Java and make sure that you are able to write code in your system. Okay. You have any more question, or should I
Okay.
open the file again for you? I'll send this file to you, the copy of this file.
Okay.
Okay. No more doubts, right? So we
Yeah.
can
So
we can
if I have later,
okay, so where is the syllabus? Okay, we are going into the depth of the syllabus, but as of now you have already seen how we are creating a class. Okay, but how we are creating object that you don't know, how we are creating variables that you know. There is one method, main method, that we have seen. There are many different ways of creating methods which will come. We'll see that. And something about packages I'll tell you, and Java programming concepts, the very big thing which we'll learn. Then this is the thing that I'm going to do now on your system. You are going to have Java environment in your system. For that reason, you need to install JDK. Okay, Eclipse is something which you will do later. Okay. Okay. I am disconnecting.